Stage is yours.
Appreciate it. Well, before we get started here, there it is, it's already up. Great. I want to tell you a little bit about the city of Maricopa, who we are, basically where we come from, and how we're a little bit different than perhaps some of you, but very similar to others in this room. So, if you see down in the bottom there, kind of a bluish color, the city of Maricopa basically was nothing but farmland 11 years ago. Didn't exist. In fact, we had roughly 1,200 people or so. And in that amount of people, we started incurring the housing boom, like many of you went through. And in this housing boom, we were doing 750 building permits a day out of a one-room trailer that we like to call City Hall. And so we had a long ways to go. But in that time frame, 2003, we realized we better incorporate this city or things are going to get out of control. And so we incorporated 2003, and 2008, of course, hit. We were built as a suburb, and in 2008, things came crashing down. But by 2008, we had almost 45,000 people. So we went from 1,200 people to 45,000 people, and according to the U.S. Census in 2010, that's what it shows us at. So basically, we grew at over 4,089%. We were one of the fastest growing cities in the entire country. Now, it's always good to take a breather from that. But recessions stink. Nobody likes those. So the fact of the matter is we had all the problems of the big city. We just simply didn't have the resources. And so we had to get creative. We had to find ways to do things, like many of you. But we had all the problems of big cities that many of them had solved many years ago. Some had solved them 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 50 years ago, 100. We were experiencing them for the very first time. You know, we were the absolute poster child for growth. We were the poster child for foreclosure, and then we were the poster child for recovery. Now, it's good to be poster child every now and then, but 3 is a lot, I think. But that's okay, we took it in stride. But we have some other challenges here. Suddenly, we went from a very rural environment to a very urban environment. And when you have nothing but new homes, as far as the eye can see, it's great from the standard of living, but there lacks a sincere quality of life. And so really we focused on trying to build that and make it stronger over the years. You can see there's one way in, one way out, basically in Maricopa. You've got the 347, which goes and sits about 35 minutes from the Phoenix metro area airport. So Sky Harbor, one of the busiest airports in the country. And with that, we compete with all these major cities around us: Phoenix, Glendale, Chandler, Goodyear, etc. And it's a tough gig. We're also situated right in between 2 Indian reservations. We have Gila River to our north and Ak-Chin to our south, and basically there's not a lot there. So we kind of live on this little island unto ourselves. We have lots of challenges. We have challenges with rural utility companies. We have challenges with infrastructure, challenges with roads, challenges. It doesn't seem to stop. But we can take it stride, we can find ways to deal with it. Now, let me tell you about one of the very simple challenges we have in Maricopa. You probably don't suffer from this, but when you're a city that didn't exist 11 years ago, have you ever watched the evening news and seen that your city doesn't pop up on the weather map? Mine doesn't. In fact, I get phone calls from constituents that say, I will not watch this news station unless my city appears on there. Well, that's great. But the problem is it can be tough to get on the map for the right reasons. One of the things that we found as we grew to a close of the recession in 2020, which was in 2012, was the fact that we were losing one of our greatest assets as a small city, and that was our people, our citizens. They were turning against us, okay? And they were doing so in a fashion that I don't think they meant to. It's just when things are always so hard, they tend to take the easy route and say, it's hard, I want to give up. And we were losing one of our greatest assets, and people wanted out. You know, if you looked at the blogs, they were full of negativity. Now, I know the media tends to do that sometimes, it's what sells. But when it's self-perpetuated, it's a really hard thing to deal with. And so what was happening was the blogosphere, the Facebook, social media, Twitter, etc., they were all full of negative things. And I believe that from an economic development standpoint, if you want to have a successful city, then you by golly better enjoy where you live. It's kind of primary, it's kind of key. We had to change the narrative as a city. We had to change it and make it to where we believe in ourselves that we could do this, that we could overcome these challenges, even though we were so young. And I believe that if you wanted to city, and you want to have amenities like a big city has, then you have to start acting like one at some point. So, those of you that know me know that I'm a big proponent of networking. I love networking. I love talking to people. I love meeting people and enjoying what they have to say. But I love how it ties into economic development. It's also one of my other favorite things. Between networking and economic development, those are my two favorites. And I believe the old adage, all roads lead to Rome, I believe that you can change it a little bit and you can